one love, one heart, one space. Loyalty, one thing we can't replace. Faith.
Welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Mike, and this is Keisha. It's been a while.
Yes.
And we've done some things with wedding planning, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. Wedding planning. Yeah, I thought it was easy.
Yes, and we are going to start you guys off from when he first proposed 2 years ago. Yes, 2 years ago. And we will tell you guys why we've been engaged for so long. But we want to talk about all things wedding planning, like, you know, what our thoughts and individual experiences have been. What are the highs? What are the lows? Have we been frustrated? Is it exciting? We're going to share all of that with you guys today.
Yes. But is 2 years a long time to be engaged?
I mean, personally, I feel like it isn't. A lot of people like to get married within a year. Some people less than a year. I feel like for us, it was beneficial for us to be engaged this long. It was 2 years in February.
Yeah.
And partially because of COVID. So it's not like we just said when you proposed and I accepted that we said, oh, we're going to be engaged for at least 2 years. We didn't say that.
No.
Our initial plan was to be married last May. But, you know, with COVID on the rise and, you know, the vendors and venues changing up their rules. And so, you know, we wanted to just make sure that our wedding day could be where we wanted it to be. And so we decided to postpone it out for a year. But within that year, things happened that made us grow stronger and more closer. And so it definitely worked to our benefit.
Yeah.
But we're jumping the gun. So let's start with when you proposed, February 2020.
Yeah, so the proposal. Right? So, you know, proposed and, you know, get on your knee and, you know, you ask the woman, hey, will you marry me? And hopefully she says yes.
Hopefully.
Right?
Darkest places, you have given me the light that you didn't have on E, and you gave it to me. You have been the biggest inspiration in my life when I didn't know what inspiration was. Love me more than I love myself. The things that you have done for me, spiritual or not of this earth, you have given me the light from your being that you didn't have again. You have been through so much, and you chose to give me the last part of yourself that existed to keep you here. So you have chosen to put your life before my life. You make sure that my spirit is taken care of in every way, regardless of anything, sexual, spiritual, physical. In every way, you could be on empty, and you bring it to me. You give me the last. You don't care if you make it to any of those empty zones. You give me your last. And I have so much gratitude to you. You love me in ways that I never knew I could be loved. You are so genuine. You are so honest. You are so loyal that I couldn't believe at times. I fought the belief of who you were. And you constantly showed me that's who you are, regardless of anything. You showed me, you showed me that any of my doubts were false. There's nothing that I can say that you have been untruthful or false about. You have proven the deepest insecurities of myself to be untrue. And I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I am committed to you. You marry me?
Now you made me cry. There we go. Look at them. Yes, of course.
Oh, that was amazing.
Now, from that point, you know, I've never been married, but I watch, you know, you watch shows, you watch TV, you watch movies, and you see how things go, but they never show on the movies, like, the wedding planning.
Yeah.
You know, you just see somebody get proposed to, and then you see the wedding.
Yeah. Set you up for failure, didn't it?
You know, it definitely didn't show me the things that I've experienced, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, even, you know, you were mentioning that years ago, you know, you witnessed from the sideline your sister, you know, planning her wedding. But it's nothing like planning for your own wedding.
Yeah.
You can be a part of somebody else's planning as much as you want, but when it is yours, that is a completely different ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking about my sister wedding, she actually did it herself, like her and my mom. So, you know, I was younger then, so, you know, I really didn't see, like, all the details.
Yeah.
It's just that I know that she did the things herself.
Yeah.
And, you know, her and my mom did the things herself, along with the assistance of my mom's friend. But, you know, that definitely didn't.
Kudos to you all, because there is no way. But so let me ask you, so like when you proposed and I accepted, right, and then we started having conversations about, you know, planning, like when do we want to get married, like what kind of wedding did we see? What was your mindset then? Like, were you thinking, to your point of referencing like movies and TV shows, were you thinking initially that, okay, I don't have to do much, or were you thinking that, all right, so we both equally need to be invested in like the planning and decision making?
Well, I definitely didn't think that I had to do as much as I have,
Ladies.
you know, and you know, it's not something that you think about if you've never been through it.
Yeah, and I mean, in your defense as a man, like you said, in, you know, movies and things like that, it doesn't really showcase the man doing a lot. It shows the woman and her mom and her friends, you know, but no.
Like the movies I watched, it didn't show anything about any planning. It just showed
the ceremony.
It showed the ceremony, right? It showed the proposal, and then it shows the ceremony, and everybody lived happily ever after.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, you know, on our channel, we are completely honest with you guys. So we don't just talk about, like, you know, the great things about our relationship, but we share everything pretty much. So with that mindset, right, of you in the initial beginning of thinking that you wouldn't have to do much, that, you know, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you would do whatever I asked of you, but you wasn't expecting for me to ask much of you. You thought that I would go through, you know, the majority of everything. So when it started to be where I'm having these conversations with you, or I'm bringing up, you know, details of like, babe, you know, we need to pick this out, we need to pick that out. What are your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking during that time? Were you like, why is she asking me this stuff?
Yeah, some things I was like, why, you know, like, you what you like, because I'm like, okay, I propose to you, so it's both our day, but I'm like, I want the day to be more of yours. You feel me? Like, I want you to have everything that you like.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because like we know we know what each other eat. We know what each other don't eat.
Yeah.
And I think we very intelligent, and we know that the people around us, we know mostly, like, we go out to eat with our family and friends. We know the type of things they eat and don't eat.
Yeah.
So when it came to like the culinary part, I think that was probably one of the first things you asked me about. And so yeah.
So you guys, I laugh about it now, but during that time, nothing was funny about it, and we actually butt heads quite a bit. Like we argued a lot in the beginning stages, just because, he had the idea of him not needing to do much, and then here I am, like, I feel like this needs to be a joint effort, because being quite honest, I would have been okay with us eloping. Like, for me, at that time, it was all about just marrying him. I didn't necessarily need a wedding, but like he's saying he wanted the day to be special for me, I did for him as well. And so with him never being married, I wanted him to experience the opportunity of having that wedding and, having his family and friends there to celebrate with him. But I definitely had the mindset that we would go through the process together, right? And we would share, the weight of it equally. And so when things wasn't meshing that way, then it became very frustrating, and we had a lot of arguments. We're not the type of couple that argues a lot at that time, but we were having arguments. I was like, you know what, just call it off.
I don't even recall all those arguments. I just I was just, hey, look, what you need, and
yeah. Because, for me, and I want the new brides or either the couples, the women who are engaged right now, to comment below. It's kind of like you want your partner to be equally excited. And I guess I was equating excitement to your interest in planning, which wasn't necessarily the case. Just because you didn't feel like you needed to be a part of the planning process didn't say that you wasn't excited about getting married or having a wedding, but that's what I equated it to at the time. And so I'm like, well, he don't care, why should I care? If he don't want to put time in it, why should I put time in it? And that's just being honest, And so, like we said, us having to delay it really helped a lot of things as it, relates to our relationship.
Yeah. So what things specific did I not, I don't know, whatever you're saying about me participating?
Well, I felt like at that time, I would call you or we would be together and I would bring up a topic, and it's almost like your response would be you brushing it off or not wanting to talk it through. So to me, that just made me feel like you wasn't serious about the planning. And also, I wanted your input on things. I did not want that day to just represent my likes. I wanted it to represent, and I still am like that now, I want it to represent who we are as a couple. It is both of our day, right? And so I just felt like anytime I called you about something, there would be little to no response to it. It would end up being where you brought up another topic, and I'm just like, okay. Like,
so I mean, like, I recall, like, you calling me about food, and let me see what else, cake.
Venue, like, it was all of the foundational things, all of the things that you know of now. Of course, I asked you about it because I wanted your input on everything. Where should we have it? When should we have it? What type of food? What type of decor? Like, what would our theme be? Like, I asked you about all of those things, and I never could really get a straight answer from you.
Well, I definitely didn't know a lot of things, so
yeah.
And then at the same time too, I was searching for business opportunities.
Right.
So, it was a lot, I had a lot going on at the time.
Yep, and that's exactly what you said.
So, that's a reason why I don't remember, I guess, Your frustration.
And this is, we had a conversation about that during that time, because it also showed that our priorities were different at the time. You were focused then on, building business, but then I'm focused on, okay, let's start this wedding planning. And in hindsight, we didn't even have to start right away. Like, I don't know why I felt like we needed to start like immediately. Like, okay, you propose today, next week we need to start planning.
So you put pressure on me for no reason.
And I put pressure on myself for no reason too. Yeah. It's like you can look back at things and see where you, meaning I'm talking about myself, where I went wrong too. I think that we both had some fault in, the breakdown during that time, but I definitely didn't need to rush to start planning. Like, let's enjoy being engaged for a minute.
I mean, I appreciate, that you jumped into it. It was, it definitely prepared me for now.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess.
So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like we reliving the planning from then now, but it's on a different level because, well, number one for me, I'm not doing all those things that I was jumping into at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I look at it too, now that we are kind of out of that space and we can look back. I just feel like God was like, no, y'all, I need to work some things out with y'all first before you go there, just to make sure that we are successful when we do become married, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it was a blessing. The delay was a blessing. And, we talk about God all the time on our channel, and we know that his plans are always perfect. And that particular plan for us definitely was perfect because, like I said, we were able to work through some things that we didn't even realize we needed to work through or work on during that time of delay. And when we delayed it, like, we didn't talk about the wedding at all. Like, it literally was pushed to the side.
Yeah, that C word came in.
So you shared your mindset during that time. I've also admitted that I didn't have to rush. So now we're at a place of delay. Or do you want to talk about, like, some of the work that we did? So even before we delayed, and even though we were not on the same page, we did go ahead and still take steps. Like, we secured a planner, which she's phenomenal, and of course we're going to give her rave reviews on our social media after our wedding, so stay tuned for that. Love her to pieces. Could not do anything without her. We did food tasting, so we did secure. We secured the rental company and the florist. So we did do a lot before we delayed, so that when the decision was made to delay it, we really had done probably 75%.
Yeah.
Of things, meaning we had secured all of our main vendors that would be needed.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, right? So, you did the securing, you made phone calls, and I don't know how it go, because we have a wedding planner, so I guess she, how does it work? She gives you the information, and how does that work?
So as far as securing the other vendors?
Yeah, your communication with the vendors, how, do you communicate directly with them, or does she communicate directly with them?
Yeah, so the first thing on the agenda was to secure a wedding planner, because I knew that it was going to be a lot of work. Based on, conversations that we had about what we wanted. We did have a conversation about what we wanted that day to look like, and we wanted it to be grand. We wanted it to be a representation of who we are, and we don't do anything small. So I knew it was going to be, a lot of effort put into it, and I knew that I could not do it by myself. So I secured a wedding planner, which I found on Instagram. She is award-winning, certified. She's been doing it for 13 years. She definitely knows her business. And so once I did that, then she made recommendations. It was a combination of her making recommendations of other vendors and me giving her names of vendors I had seen on social media or wherever. And so then it began where we would set up meetings with different vendors to see which ones we wanted. So for instance, I think I met with 2 or 3 photographers. I think I met with 2 or 3, or like spoke to 2 or 3 different catering companies, and so then you just go through your selection process.
Okay.
And then we chose, you know, the vendors that we currently have.
Okay. Wow.
So with our venue location being very close to where our planner lives and works, she knew of a lot of vendors in that area already, which made it like just phenomenal for us, because you know we're not getting married in the city in which we live, and so we didn't know vendors, you know, in that particular city, but she does. So it all worked out. Like it just, you know, she's worked with these vendors on multiple weddings before. She knows their professionalism. She knows the quality of work, and we trust her. And so,
yeah, she's definitely doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And, high energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So then we get to the place where we decide that we're going to postpone it out for a year. Now, I will say this caveat. The majority of the reason why we postponed it was definitely due to COVID, like I mentioned before, but we also needed to just get back on one page. Right? Again, as we spoke about being on different pages, have different priorities at the time, so we wanted to be on one page so we can move as a unit. But with that being said, because of COVID, we did not have any penalties as far as like additional fees or anything from any of our vendors, because they were allowing people at the time to postpone out up to 1 year without any additional cost. Prior to COVID, that was not the case. You know, if a couple had to delay or change their date for whatever reason, then you were looking at fees, additional fees from every vendor.
Wow. Is that with all people? Because I mean, these are separate people with their own businesses. Is that a rule?
Well, I don't know if it's a rule per se, but it is something that happened often. Like, because, you know, you got to think about it from their perspective, right? If they're booking multiple weddings in a month, a couple changing their date could throw off their whole schedule, right? And it's so many different vendors that come into play with making that day successful that, you know, they could definitely see, speaking from the vendor standpoint, they could definitely see a way to charge more money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the ways that they were doing that. But like I said, due to COVID, you know, which was out of everybody's control, like none of us chose to be in a pandemic, so they all were gracious enough to say, we understand, as long as your wedding happens within that year from that original date, you don't incur any additional fees. So I just think that was great. That was phenomenal service provided by the vendors, because they did not have to be understanding like that, pandemic or not.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, you know, I would say people be careful when you're choosing your vendors.
Yeah.
You know, you ask that question. Hey, you know, if there is something that come up, you know, I mean, but you do give a deposit, right? So that, I mean, that to me that seems like that secures, like even if it doesn't happen in the time frame, they still have your money.
So you do pay a deposit, but you're paying a deposit to secure that date, that initial date.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So if you changing that date, like that could fall into a peak season. So it could be a lot of other factors that come into play with that new date. And again, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but from a vendor standpoint, that's just how they view it. But yeah, deposits have to be made in order to secure your date.
Yeah.
And you know, you think about it, most couples choose, like they have a reason why they're choosing that specific date. You know, for us, not necessarily. You know, we didn't really have, like, this particular date didn't really hold importance when we were planning, but it is my father's birthday. But
That's awesome.
right, and which actually it changed by 1 day due to the postponement, because initially it was supposed to be the 21st, and now it's the 20th.
Wow. So he got 2 great days.
Exactly.
Yeah, his birthday and he give away his daughter. Thank you.
So yeah, but yeah, deposits definitely have to be made. Okay, baby. So now we're at the place where we made a decision. We've spoken with our planner. Everybody's on the same page as far as postponement. The wedding is pushed to the side. What are we doing now? We have this whole year that we can breathe. I can breathe. I don't have to worry about trying to stress you out or me being stressed. What are we doing now within this year?
And I wouldn't say that it didn't stress me out. It's just, it was just things that I didn't know that were needed of me, and I may have been in between something, and if I gave you a response that wasn't qualified, I apologize.
I accept your apology. And I definitely, going into it, was always trying to be understanding of the fact that you've never been through this process yourself before. Like, I understand that. It's not a conversation that men sit around and have, like, oh, when I get married, we go. Like, that's not what y'all do. That's why I said normally, not all men, but you didn't sit around and have conversations about it, and I know for sure. But so I did try to have an understanding, right? Which is another reason why I wanted to incorporate you in everything, so that you could know what all played a part, or all the factors that had to go into that day.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Postponement.
What
are we doing? Because from my perspective, prior to postponement, we were not in the best place, because I still was very frustrated with you and very aggravated just with the process in general. And I'm sure you had your own experience during that time, but now we're at postponement, so what does that look like for us? You remember?
Yeah. I was myself, I was able to focus sternly on, because my thing was like, as far as the financial part was, okay, let me get us some things going so it can pay for the wedding, because my thing always is, like, if you buy something, like, put it back, put the money back.
What does that mean? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so like if you buy, say for instance, you buy clothes, and I like a music. Let's say people in music, rappers, singers, they buy clothing, they buy jewelry, and it's for entertainment. Mm-hmm. So they get their money back doing the shows, and having people advertising the clothing and things like that. But another way to explain it is, if you say for instance, you have a car that you're buying, that you're driving, and you can rent it out when you're not driving it. Yeah. So you get your money back.
Okay, so your thing was, whatever we spend on this wedding, we need to have things in place to put that money back.
Right.
You replacing it, if not add more.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yes. So that was your whole deal. Okay.
That's how my mind works.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Very well. So for me, during the postponement time, it gave us an opportunity to get back on one accord without wedding talk being involved. Because literally, you guys, when I say we took a break. I was like, I don't want to hear the word wedding at all. Like, I don't want to discuss anything that has to do with it. Wherever we ended at that point, that's where we ended. And we'll pick back up when, we're supposed to. So, we were able to get back on the same page. Because honestly, we don't like to argue, and we don't like to be, we don't like to have tension between us. We like to, and obviously we know that we're going to have disagreements sometimes, but it's about having understanding so we can get back on the same page as quickly as possible. And so during that time, for me, I feel like we were able to do that. I was able to explain, and you were able to explain where we both were coming from, so that we can have that understanding without the stress and pressure of, okay, well, I'm bringing this up to you because I need this done by Friday or in 3 days. Yeah. Right? We were able to just bring it up just purely for conversation and for understanding. So we were able to get back on the same page.
Yes.
Thankfully.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, in that time, I can say that, I definitely was able to start, looking at those things that we were discussing, as far as like, watching videos on wedding planners, bridezilla, things like that.
Hold on.
So, I watched.
Why would you say bridezilla? Like, is that what you consider me as?
No, definitely not.
Do you consider me that now?
I don't know. You might have been a bridezilla.
In the beginning?
You might have been one.
Oh my goodness.
If my expectations aren't met, I'm gonna flip out at my own wedding and body slam somebody.
And
All right. Hey.
That's not confirmed.
Okay.
Were you?
I don't feel like I was, but you definitely have your own experience.
You had the bridezilla.
Bridezilla.
I mentioned bridezilla the show because like everybody knows bridezilla.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody knows the bridezilla show.
Yeah. Or at least that term. They've heard that term before. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to fast forward to when we started back planning?
Yes. Well, do you want to? Like, I mean, because you were talking about in between, like we did, like just even on a relationship level, we were able to grow.
Yes.
And learn new things about communication. Like, watch the videos that we've made, we got to learn different things about ourselves that we didn't understand as far as communication, how each person operates and how it could, because the marriage starts before the wedding.
Absolutely.
Right. So that we went to, we went to counseling.
Yeah.
And so that's where I get that term from. She told us the marriage starts before the wedding.
Yeah.
And it does. So you don't go to the wedding and then you start your marriage.
Right.
And then you see these underlying issues, and then you end up getting into a place that the D word could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Right? So, you want to learn those things, those differences that you have, those things that cause arguments. You want to nip those things in the bud. And, I look to that as well as, like when it was postponed, I felt like God did that to make us even more healthier.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. And, like you said, during that time, we really had an opportunity to go through some instances that made us reevaluate and take, notice of, okay, why are we operating in this way? In addition, we launched our channel. Yep. We launched our channel during the time of postponement because we were like, okay, we had a pretty solid relationship, this whole time. And so, but yet we were experiencing some challenges that we had never experienced before. But we choose to look at them as lessons to help make us better. So we were like, why not just have these conversations on camera, because pretty sure there are other people who are going through the same thing, and maybe they can learn from us, we can learn from them through their comments, right? So we launched our channel. We became more active on social media, creating and developing content for social media. And so, like I said previously, the postponement just helped us.
Yeah, it did.
It
did. It helped all the way around, and I know the C word didn't happen for us, this, but God got his way of fitting everybody in different ways, with the same thing. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are not upset about it having to be postponed. Most time couples are like, well, I had this date, I wanted this date, now it can't happen on this date, I want to get married now, but we were like, okay, that's fine. I mean, and mind you, I've had my dress since the end of 2020.
Yeah.
Shoes, everything. My girls, my bridesmaids, they've had their dress since the end of 2020. It's fine. It just sit in the closet until we wear them in a few weeks.
And you know, it just goes to show too, like, you know, let go and let God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
So, you know, just, you know, don't ever try to force anything. It wasn't something that we could force anyway, you know, because of, you know, the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I definitely express my condolences to anybody that lost somebody, because I lost somebody doing that. So, you know, my heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
But, you know, it definitely put us in a much better space, place for our future and the future of our children.
Yeah, because ultimately, you know, we know that our relationship and our upcoming marriage has a ministry attached to it, and we want to be successful. We want to be positive to other couples, to other families, you know, and that entails us sharing the lessons that we've learned through the different hurdles we've had to overcome. But, you know, our goal is to be married until one of us leaves this earth. Like, we're not looking to get married and just say, oh, you know what, if something comes up, then, you know, it's a possibility that we'll... No, we're like, listen, no matter what it is, we will have to learn how to work through it, you know. And that's not to say that whatever this thing may be, that the other person might not need a little bit of time to process it and to figure out, you know, what they can do to add to the resolution of it. But what we're saying is, this is it. Like I'm not signing a marriage license with nobody else.
Thank you.
Like, there would be no other wedding. There is no other husband. This is it. Yeah. You know, and you guys who are frequent watchers of our channel know that my first husband passed away. And so he's my second husband, but he's the last. That is it.
Shit.
Done.
Yeah, so, you know, like the marriage is a commitment to do everything you can do. If things come up, you know, something come up in between the marriage, and it's a commitment that you will work through it, that you're gonna attempt to work through it, that both, you know, it has to be done by both parties. Yeah. Because you can't do it by yourself. Yeah. If you in a situation that you're doing it by yourself, then it's another consideration that you have to make.
Yeah. So, baby, let's go back to what you said, though. The statement that we got from our therapist about the marriage starting before the wedding. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, I feel like it's important to share insight on that, because some people may have not heard that phrase before.
Yeah, I never had.
Yeah, and so it's like, what do you mean? So how can the marriage start before the wedding? Okay, at the wedding we say I do, we exchange rings, and then we're married. Why should it start now?
I'm gonna tell you, I've had conversations with, you know, a couple of people about it, and, you know, they didn't understand. And the way I see it is, okay, let's take this for example. Right? Okay. So the tradition is to have bachelorette party and, you know, bachelorette party and bachelor party, right? Yeah. And, you know, that's like the last night. Do it. Whatever you gonna do, that's the last night you can have this in your face or whatever. Right. What kind of sense is that? What kind of sense does that make? It makes no sense. Yeah. Like, that's just like saying, you know what? Let me go out here and you know, let me go out here and deal with all the women I can before I get to that day. Yeah. Like, what sense does that make? Right. So the marriage starts before the wedding. It means that, like, that commitment that you're gonna have, that you're supposed to have after the wedding, you should have it now. Absolutely. That's what that means. Absolutely. The commitment, the loyalty, the respect. Yeah, I completely agree. And that was a great analogy, because everybody is always planning bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. Like, you and I both said, we don't care about none of that. Yeah, I don't care about that. And it's not to shame the bachelorette parties and what you call it? Bachelor. The bachelor party and the bachelorette parties. It's not to shame it. Right. But it's just that what I was speaking of is the tradition and the things that happen. And y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happens at bachelorette parties and bachelor parties.
Exactly.
Like, I've been to them. And
Same.
And I mean, like, if the other party knew what happened in that room or wherever they were having the party at, then they definitely wouldn't be married the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, and no, like you said, we're not here placing judgment on anybody because everybody do what's best for them. This is something that we've chosen not to do because, for one, I need my beauty rest. I have a long day the next day, and I need my rest. So it's more important for me to get my rest versus going out to do what? Like, the same people that I could spend time without, they can come to my room and see me for a minute. You know? So, yeah, every couple does what they want to do. You do what's best for you in your relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
But I love that, and it really, I believe, should help put things into perspective for people because, like you said, the way we operate now, even though we don't have the license yet, like, we are married. Like, we share everything, we talk about everything, we definitely, have the utmost respect for each other. We have the utmost loyalty to each other. Like, I'm always thinking about him when there are decisions to be made or for what, just for everything. Like, I'm thinking about how will it impact him? How will he feel about it? Okay, let me talk to him and see what his thoughts are about it. He does the same thing for me because we've chosen to spend our lifetime together, right? And so, to your point, I can't disrespect you now and expect for you to be happy and whatever on the next day.
Yeah.
Because whatever people think they're hiding, you're not.
Right.
It's gonna come out some kind of way.
It's gonna come out always.
Yeah.
But yeah, like bachelorette parties, to each his own.
Yeah.
But I don't go out myself anyway.
Yeah.
Like that, so it's not a thing to me,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's fast forward to February of this year. Planner makes contact and say, "Hey, you guys. Hey, remember me? It's time to start planning again." So let me ask you, baby, and I will answer this question too. How was your headspace at that time? Like, what were your thoughts in comparison to in the very beginning, right, of 2020? What were your thoughts now about, okay, we're getting ready to get back in this process? How did you feel at that time?
I felt ready, because I know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's specific details, so I'm looking forward to it. I want to pick out the menu. I want to pick out the cakes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at the flowers. I want to know all the details of it.
Yeah, and I can attest to that too, because we had decided that, all right, we're in this together. We need to do this together. And it made me become excited, during that time to pick back up and start working with her again and us having conversations and us looking at things like you said, because there is excitement in looking at the items. Yes. It's like you're starting to envision it all come together, and I wanted to be able to share that excitement with you. So we're super excited. We're having conversations with her. We're just, she's touching bases back with the vendors we had already secured, just making sure everything was still a go on their end. And then we get to, other details like you said. So now we get to cake tasting, for example.
Yeah, but now, let's rewind. We went to the wedding festival.
Yeah.
So, that was, so going to the wedding festival showed me a lot as well.
Yeah.
Because they had different vendors there, and I got to see, like, all the different details. Like, okay, so you have a DJ, and some DJs have special effects. They have smoke. They have lights. They have different kind of 360 cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot, and they have transportation there, and so they have this kind of sprinter that has wine glasses in it, or you can take a bus. All kinds of different kinds of transportation.
Yeah.
Different kinds of food. Different kinds of drinks. Non-alcoholic and alcoholic.
Yeah.
the wedding festival was an amazing experience. So if you've never been to one, I don't care if you're not getting married or not, go to one. Just go. If you're not, I don't care, because we met some people that they wasn't even getting married. They just like, yo, we came, just to come, to see. So,
and we also talked to a couple who did not have a wedding date in plan or in mind at all. They were like, we have no idea when we're getting married, but we just want to come.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had a great time. We brought our matron of honor, and we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It did expose you to a lot, and me too, right? Because things are so new and different now too, right? There's some additional items that are being offered, like you were speaking of the 360, camera.
Yes.
Obviously, that's a new feature.
It's crazy.
And just to see like a lot of like-minded people in the same space too. Like, because even though there were people there who were not getting married, it was a whole lot of people there who were engaged and getting married.
Yes.
And so everybody had the excitement as a bride. We wore a sash, and it was fun. Yeah. So people would know it's us. We're the bride.
Yo, they had y'all lit.
It was good.
And the brides lit. They forgot about the grooms. But it's okay. They had some good food. Good cake.
And even honeymoon vacation.
Yeah, they had vacation packages.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the company, but I'm not promoting anybody.
Unless y'all paying us to promote.
Right. But it was an incredible experience, and I would definitely go. We should definitely go back every year.
Yeah. I mean, because honestly, like, if things change, and you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know. We might decide to renew our vows one day.
You want to plan that?
No.
You over it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if let me say this. I wouldn't be opposed to renewing our vows, but I would love to do it as like kind of an elopement situation where we go to an island, maybe us and our children.
Okay. What is the point of renewing vows? What is that?
People just choose to do it just as like a sign of recommitment to each other. Or if they've had discretion in their marriage that they've worked through, and they are new individuals, they have a new outlook, they have a new commitment to that person, then they choose to go through a ceremony like that too. That's just one example.
Okay.
But then also there are instances where maybe the first time around they couldn't have a wedding for whatever reason.
But so they got married, but they didn't have the wedding that they wanted.
Or maybe they couldn't have a wedding at all. Maybe they could only afford to go to the courthouse. You get what I'm saying? But as years progress and people, start to do well in life, then now they're at a place where they can have a wedding.
Yeah.
So it's different reasons.
Okay, so I understand renewing vows. I mean, I can see how maybe some people get married, in prison. So, the person on the outside and the person on the inside. So, I can see how people want to renew their vows because they couldn't have the wedding that they wanted. And, once they get out, then they can have their wedding.
Yeah, that's definitely an example.
Sure.
Absolutely. But I know that we wouldn't, well, let me say it like this. I wouldn't choose for us to have this big ceremony because our ceremony is already grand.
Grand.
That's putting it lightly.
Just putting it lightly.
That's putting it lightly. So, yeah, this is going to be one and done for me.
One and done for me.
Great to hear. Okay, so we talked about, so now we're in February where we're planning again. You spoke of the wedding festival. We met with the baker, or we chose a baker, and which we found where?
We found the baker at the wedding festival.
Exactly.
And then guess what? She came up to me and said, "Would you like to try this cake?" And it was in a little container. And I wasn't trying to eat cake right then at that moment, so I was like, nah. And then she was like, no, your matron, yeah. She was like, no, she got the best cake, y'all. And so I tasted it, and She's great.
Yes, because our matron of honor, she has booked her for other events before, so she was familiar with her quality of her cake. And so so we met our baker there, and then we ended up scheduling a date to go to her location and do some cake tasting. But due to COVID, because people still have restrictions, she had like a different process in place. So she actually had different samples of different types of cakes that we took to go, which was great because we got to share that with some of our kids.
Yes, and I enjoyed the trip to her business because it was very scenic. In the area that she has her business in. So, and we started talking about maybe relocating to that. That's how nice it was.
We were like, exactly. And that provided a great day of quality time for us too.
Yeah.
Okay, so after we did that, then, it's alterations for dress, and I don't mind sharing. I definitely have a dress change. I will not wear the same dress the entire day.
Of course.
Can't do it. And for all the people who's watching who know me, come on, y'all should expect that. And so alterations had to happen. Getting the groomsmen fitted. We just had to start really focusing in on all of these final details.
Yes. So, we had to take pictures.
Yes.
For what you call them? Engagement pictures.
We call them engagement pictures even though we've been engaged for a couple of years, but there's something special we are planning to do with some of those pictures. But baby, let me ask you, should we reveal a couple of pictures now? Or should we wait until after the wedding?
I say wait.
Oh, wait. You guys.
Guess what? If you watch our channel, you might have already seen them.
So y'all comment. Like, do y'all want to see some of the pictures now? He said wait. So, I guess we're waiting.
We'll wait. We'll save. Hey, look, we gotta save something, right?
Yeah, I agree. So y'all have to wait. We definitely, after we are married, honeymoon, all that stuff, and get back, we'll be releasing footage and content, wedding clips and things like that as soon as we can. So. Yeah,
and how did you enjoy the photo shoot?
It was amazing. We looked amazing. I had worked with that photographer, which is our wedding photographer and videographer, on another shoot. So I was familiar kind of like with his personality. But location was amazing. We looked amazing. The weather was fantastic. The kids were there. And also check out the behind the scene footage of our shoot. Like, we have that video up on our channel. So go and look at that, and you guys come in and tell us what you think about the pictures. But it was a great day. Yeah. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, man, it, like different poses. It was different, to have to, do these different poses and stand still and, GQ up, looking this way, and just different stances. So, so how you feel? How important is it to have a great photographer?
It's very important. I'll speak for myself specifically. I am very, what's the word I can use? I'm very particular about my pictures. So with him being a professional, he understands angles and lighting and backdrops and all of the things. He knows how to give direction because this is what he does. It's his business. And so I felt great about him taking pictures. And baby, when you take pictures of me, I'm like, okay, hold your phone like this, do this, do that. So I'm very particular.
Yeah. But I'm not a professional.
No, but the pictures that you've taken of me have been great. Like, even our oldest daughter, and that's what I was going to say too, this was a professional photo shoot, but our oldest daughter take pictures of us all the time. We've had I don't know how many photo shoots, honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to me, Like she takes amazing pictures.
Yeah.
Like, to me, she's a professional.
Yeah, like she has done a great job. You guys go to our Instagram page, MN Atkins08, and you can see a lot of the pictures that we've taken together. But so we have had photo shoots often. But what I will say, and this is a decision that we've made together, but I'm putting more emphasis on it. We are having an unplugged ceremony. So comment below, you guys, if you've ever had an unplugged ceremony, if you have an interest in having one. But for the ones of you who do not know what it is where we're asking our guests not to have their phones or any other type of devices out to take pictures or videos during the ceremony.
No phones.
Don't do it.
Don't take the picture. Don't do it.
Don't do it. There will be a sign display. We will make an announcement a couple of times. Don't do it. And we're saying that for a variety of reasons. Like I said, I'm very particular about, someone taking pictures of me, but also we want our guests to enjoy the moment. Like, don't be worried about having your phone out and, trying to capture this part or that part. Like, enjoy the moment with us.
Yes. Enjoy the
Don't
moment.
do it, you guys. I'm just saying.
Enjoy the moment. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're going to be in attendance, please don't pull out that phone, because then she's gonna have to stop at whatever point she's at and make an announcement herself.
Yes, because I will.
She will do it.
I will do it. I will. That's very important to me. Now, after the ceremony and you guys move into cocktail hour, and again, these are for the ones of you who are watching who will be in attendance, move towards cocktail hour. We won't be present because we'll be doing something else. We'll take pictures when we get to the reception and we've gone through, all of the things that we need to do according to our itinerary. Feel free to take pictures. I'll take selfies with you guys. I'm sure he will as well. But during the ceremony, it's to know we paid great money to our photographer / videographer, and those are only the images that we want to see.
There you have it.
So that's a little disclaimer for you guys. So fast forwarding to where we are now. How many weeks do we have? 3, 4? How many?
21 days. How many weeks is that?
3. 3 weeks, you guys.
3 weeks. So
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel anxious, and I feel just ready. Like, just ready to enjoy the day, ready to see you, number one, and see, our children and how beautiful they'll look, handsome, beautiful,
Yeah.
how they'll look, and, do our sand ceremony. Does anybody know what a sand ceremony is? Well, I didn't until she showed me a video in which, would you like to explain, or I can?
Yeah, you
Okay.
explain.
So a sand ceremony is pretty much the point of it is to show the combination of family.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have children, they may have children, and it shows the combination of the family by using sand. Mm-hmm. And it's different color sand, so each person has a color to represent them, and you have a container, and each person has a glass, and each person will pour into that glass. Mm-hmm. and then that combines. That's a symbolism of combining the family.
Yeah.
And it's just from me watching it, it's definitely a wonderful experience and symbolism.
Yeah, agreed. Because we do have a blended family.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that, every child knows that they are just as important as the other one, no matter who introduced them to the relationship.
That's right.
So no, I thought it would be a great little way to incorporate them into the ceremony.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'm glad you found it.
Yeah. So you said that you're anxious, you're excited, you're ready to see me. How are you with your to-do list? You done?
I'm about done. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I have so many boxes.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't think there is anything else to do.
I don't think you have anything else to do either. You've been great about, just being in communication with your groomsmen and, all the things that you were doing on your end.
My assignments.
Great job, baby. I'm proud of you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
You're welcome.
So this is a different experience this time around, you guys. He has taken so much pressure off of me just by completing the things that he needs to complete. And I don't know if you realize how much stress that relieves from us as the bride when you are doing your part. So thank you.
I also attended a meeting solo.
2 meetings.
So 2.
Well,
yeah,
3.
So it was 3.
Baker.
Okay.
You're handling the cake.
All right. So I did 3.
So he went from not really focused on it to being the only one present for 3 meetings.
Yes.
Like I wasn't there at all.
Big boss.
What your necklace say, baby?
Boss. Big boss move.
So I will also mention that I have been completely stressed out. I have been spiraling out of control. It's really all about me putting pressure on myself. Really. Just because I want to make sure I don't forget about anything. Right? That we have everything that we're supposed to have or that we need. And that the day really turns out the way we envision it. And of course, our planner is here to make sure our vision happens and to make sure it's executed the way it needs to be. But with some things, I'm a perfectionist. And so this is obviously a big day for us, right? And I just want it to go well. So I recognize that it's me putting stress on myself, but it's been a lot, you guys. It's been a lot.
Yeah, it's been a long road.
But currently, I feel better. We've checked some more things off of our list that needed to be done. Like we're in the phase of now having these final meetings with vendors. RSVPs are coming in. A lot has come in. Checking with the ones with our guests who, we don't have the RSVPs yet for, and just making sure that things are where they need to be.
Yes.
And are set up for the day to be a success.
That's it.
So let me ask you guys, have you heard about or implemented a first look at your wedding? It was something that we initially had talked about. We said no, then we said yes, but now we're saying no. He wants to be able to see me walk down the aisle and see me for the first time in my dress and with everything. But in place of that, we decided to do what's called a first look. So First touch, yes. So what will happen is we still won't see each other, but we'll be able to hold hands, or I'll be able to touch him. Don't touch me, because then you're gonna try to figure out how my dress look. So only hold my hand. And then we also have an opportunity to pray together before the ceremony, which is very important to the both of us. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna cry that whole day, you guys. I already know it. The whole day is going to be something about that day. Just every moment I feel like this going to make me cry. So my makeup artist, we've had this discussion. I know you got me though. I'm not worried about it.
I'm dead.
So how are you feeling right now? 3 weeks out. You talked about being anxious, excited. I'm just ready for the day to get here. I'm ready for all the planning stuff to be done and it get here.
That's it.
Okay, so do you have any advice for couples who are in the planning process that you want to share?
Just do research, if you're not engaged or you plan on getting married, just do some research on weddings and wedding planning. That way it will make it easier on you, easier on the person you propose to, make everything smoothly. Make sure you have whatever your budget is, have it set, and stay within it if you can. If you can't, then that's on you. You know, just stay in the moment, stay present, stay in the moment, and just don't be hard on yourself, and just let it flow.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. I don't have anything to add to that because you pretty much summed it up. For all of our couples that are engaged, we wish you guys the best. We pray for a successful marriage. We hope that your day is beautiful and turns out exactly the way it should be. Not necessarily how we envision it, because we don't know everything, right? There are some things that will happen, and we know there are some things that will happen that we might not know about now, right? But we trust our planner, we trust the process. More importantly, we trust God. And so as long as he shows up and are efficient, then I'm good.
The efficient.
Yeah, because that means that we can get married. That's all I care about.
How about you?
Me and you are the efficient.
Everybody, please show up.
Everybody will show up, but I'm just saying, like, as long as the two of us and the efficient shows up, we're good.
Yeah, that's it. That's all needed, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you guys, this video came highly requested because we did put a poll out on our social media asking if you guys want us to make a video about our wedding planning process. So here's the video. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, that you like, comment, and share this video with any couple you know who's going through the planning process. I know that, like we said in the beginning, we've been away for a little while. We can't commit to additional content right now. We'll try to make additional content when we can. But like we mentioned, we're 3 weeks out from our wedding. So, of course, that's taking priority over everything. So, after the wedding, after honeymoon, we get settled, we definitely will have content for you guys regularly. So,
yes, indeed.
Anything you want to say to close out?
Hey, thank you for watching. We're going to have a great day.
Yeah, it'll be a great day. We're excited. So thank you guys. We really appreciate all your support.
You're my